You are the MC. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Good evening. Welcome. What in the world? Did somebody change plans? What in the world? I'm just the MC. Somebody could have let me know. What is going on here? It's the gala, for goodness sakes. Yeah, Lizanne, I'm at the convention center, and I'm the only one here. Oh, virtual. That's right. And the band's already there? Okay, I'm on my way. Roll the credits.
Please welcome to the stage your MC for the evening, Mr. Mike Jensen.
Try it again. 1, 2, 3.
Alan, it's great to see you guys. So glad you're a part of our event again this year.
Mike, it's really good to see you here.
Well, I'm sure you've been a little late for a gig before.
No, Mike, we're never late.
Well, okay then.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 49th Annual Yuletide Gala.
Good evening. My name is Jason Parker.
And I'm Harlan Parker. We are both State Farm agents in Olathe.
We'd like to welcome you to this year's virtual Yuletide Gala.
Jason and I are happy to be the presenting sponsors for tonight's gala, which is raising funds for the capital campaign From the Heart. So we'd like to invite you to join us in supporting From the Heart capital campaign to support the Cancer Center, the NICU, and the Hospice House.
Thank you for joining us this evening and being a part of the virtual Yuletide Gala.
And enjoy the show.
Thank you all for joining us for the Olathe Health Charitable Foundation Yuletide Gala 2020. Obviously, things are a little different this year because every single thing is different in 2020. Those of you who know me know that I'm, well, let's call it a frequent hand washer, and that started well before the pandemic. In fact, this is very handy to have right here. So for all of you singing all the way through the Happy Birthday song twice while you wash your hands, first of all, I'm proud of you. Second of all, welcome to my world. Now there is someone that's been having a really good 2020. This guy. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion, huge contract, getting married, having a baby. That's a pretty good year. And by the way, for those of you keeping score, this is the third year in a row we've found a way to work Patrick Mahomes into our Yuletide Gala monologue. So we're proud of that too. We're also proud of a lot of the great things happening around Olathe Health. And we're going to tell you more about that a little bit later. But back to just how weird 2020 has been. Kids are having to learn remotely. Parents are having to become teachers, which got me to thinking, when I was a kid, say, instead of COVID-19, if we would have had COVID-1979, for example, how would we have dealt with this situation? So we put together a list of things that are a little different between COVID-19 and COVID-1979. So for example, something that's been very popular this year, those at-home meal kits. Easy to use, healthy options. But hey, we had that covered in 1979. We had TV dinners. That's right. Love that Salisbury steak. Now you might crack a tooth on it, but it was really good. We really enjoyed it. Also this year, everyone's binge watching Netflix and other streaming services, just spending hours and hours doing that. So I started to think, when I was a kid, how would I have passed the hours and hours in my home? Oh yes. Anyone remember Pong? That was a big deal when I was a kid. That was high tech. And of course, in 2020, you hold your Yuletide Gala virtually. So in 1979, I'm not sure, maybe they would have recorded it on a VHS tape and mailed it out to the people lucky enough to have a VCR at that time. I'll tell you one thing that has been great about 2020, and that's the amazing support from people like you. Let me be the first to thank Harlan and Jason Parker as our presenting sponsors for Yuletide Gala. Harlan and Jason, we appreciate your support so much and your ongoing support of Olathe Health Charitable Foundation. We thank you for joining us tonight. We know you're going to enjoy this. Hang in there. There's a lot of fun things coming up, I promise. So stay tuned. You also have the opportunity to bid on auction items and make a donation throughout the event. So for more about that, let's take it over to Lindsay Elliott to give us an update from the auction room or the donation room. What is it we're calling it? Oh, we don't really have a name for it. Okay. Just take it away, Lindsay.
Thanks, Mike. Donation room, auction room, nothing really had quite the right ring to it. So we're open to suggestions if any of you out there want to comment a good name for the room that we're standing in tonight. I'm joined tonight with Olathe Health Charitable Foundation Director Lizanne McElhaney. Thanks for being here, Lizanne.
Thank you, Lindsay. So excited to be here, and thank you to all of our virtual guests that are joining us this evening. We're pretty excited, our first virtual event.
Yes, and you're not just going to watch the virtual event. There's definitely ways you can get involved. So why don't you tell us about those ways to participate?
I would love to. So actually, this evening, you have two different ways that you can help support the From the Heart campaign and the Yuletide Gala. And the first thing you need to do is take out your cell phone. So if you could please text Yuletide Gala to 243-725, and that will get you all set up so you can make a direct donation to support the From the Heart campaign and the Yuletide Gala. That's your first way. The second way is to also participate in our online auction, which happens to close at 9 p.m. So get those bids in early.
Or so 2020. We're with the times here at Olathe Health, right?
We are. We're pretty excited about it.
So tell us, what are the proceeds benefiting tonight?
My pleasure. I'm happy to tell you all. So actually this evening you get to choose between three different areas that you would like to support. The first one being NICU. And my family, we've had a couple NICU babies in our family, so that's always really appreciated when we receive support for that. Also the Cancer Center. Everybody knows somebody that has been affected by cancer, has passed of cancer, or perhaps has cancer now. And then the last one is Hospice House. And Hospice House is also very near and dear to my heart as well. I recently had a cousin who went through our Hospice House program, and the care he received was just absolutely wonderful. It really allowed our family to be family members at the end of his life and not just caregivers.
Yeah, I know many of us have connections to each of those areas, whether it's family members, friends, whatever it may be. And probably a lot of you out there watching tonight too also have a connection. So if you do and you want to give back, your donations make a big difference for these areas. We'll show you later on in the program how we've actually been able to use your funds from last year to make a difference this year. So give tonight. All the information that you need is on the screen, and silent auction is closing tonight, so there's not too much time. So stay tuned to see more about those items and give while you can. Back to Mike.
Thank you, Liz Ann and Lindsay. Our first guests on tonight's program are Gala Committee Chairs, Drs. Ravi and Shri Yarlagadda. Our Gala Committee is always so important to us, and even when it's a virtual gala. Where are you joining us from? You look like movie stars.
Hey Mike, how are you doing? We are watching the gala from our basement with our son Arman in the background. Hey, Mike. So how are you doing?
Hey Armand, glad you're joining us. I'm doing well, thank you. I want to say thank you for serving as our chairs this year, and also for all you have both done this year as doctors. Dr. Ravi Yarlagadda is a cardiologist specializing in electrophysiology, and Shri is a nephrologist. Can you tell us what this year has been like for you as physicians?
You know, to provide care during this pandemic has been challenging and rewarding at the same time. You know, who knew that Zoom would be our new best friend? So both on a personal and a professional level, we started doing a lot of Zoom conferences. Never in 1,000 years would have dreamt that my kids would be doing Zoom classes in high school. And I never thought that I would talk to a patient virtually through a camera. But you know, that's what we do. We adapt, and I think it's not the same as what you normally like to do when seeing a patient, but I think we'll make it work, and it's actually going great.
Speaking of adapting and flexibility, we've obviously adapted the way we're holding the gala this year. What's it been like organizing this unique event?
It has certainly been a very interesting and a tough time to hold a virtual gala like this. We would really like to thank all our supporters and sponsors for this event. It's you know, we would like you to participate in the gala and also for the silent auction. It's really for a great cause. You know, despite what the year has been, we still wanted to forge ahead for this event, because next year is our big year. As we you know, the gala turns 50, so we have to get through this year to get to 50. So that's one of our driving forces as to why we chose to do this virtually.
I know, we're all looking forward to the 50th next year. It takes a team to put this together, and I understand you want to thank some people.
I'd like to thank Catherine Opie and Dr. Harlan Opie, Dr. Kelly Rhodes Stark and Dr. Stephen Stark, Susan and Kent Lyman for serving on the committee during this difficult year. And I'd like to thank Lizanne, Natalie Ward, and Erica Wilson for pulling together this virtual gala in the COVID year.
So I would really like to thank Mr. Sutherland and his foundation. I really had the honor of meeting him when he came to tour our facilities. With his generous donation, we were able to complete the surgical suites expansion. So we are currently trying to raise funds for our hospice house, for our cancer center, and NICU. These are subspecialties which are greatly needed in our community. And with your generous donations, we really want to take this to the next level.
We are all so thankful for the generosity of our committee and our donors. Before we run out of time on our Zoom call here, is there anything else you want to say to everyone watching tonight?
I'm very proud to be a part of a medical community that is so closely knit. And I think the patients who come to visit us and come to see us as patients really see that feeling. So it's wonderful to be a part of an organization where healthcare is served really with a very personal touch, is the best way I can put it.
Ravi and Shri, it's such a pleasure to talk to you, and we're so lucky to have you as part of Olathe Health. Thanks again for joining us, and hopefully we'll do this in person next time.
Thank you, Mike, and have a great time, guys.
Thank you again to the Yarlagaddas and all the committee members for putting on this year's gala. And thank you to all the community members for your outpouring of support to Olathe Health during the pandemic. Here are some examples of that wonderful support. that community support really warms our hearts. Earlier this week, I had a chance to talk with our CEO, Stan Holm, about how things are going and where we're headed. Stan, thanks for joining us for the 2020 virtual Yuletide Gala. We're doing a fireside chat here with our masks on, just like normal, right?
Normal.
Yes.
Privilege, thanks.
Here we are in the lobby at Olathe Medical Center. So with our universal masking policy, obviously, we're wearing our masks to keep everyone safe. And you have now surpassed the 2-year mark as our CEO. How are you and your family liking this here in Kansas? Do you miss the weather in Arizona?
Oh, we love it in Kansas. Actually, it's really kind of a coming back home for us. And the great thing is we get all 4 seasons here. And we did not get that in Arizona where, for example, when your front yards are rocks with some palm trees, it's a little different when you actually see the changes in the season. Love it here. We get a little laughter when we have calls from our friends in the middle of the winter where they're saying, oh, look at our beautiful weather out in Arizona. I make sure I reply back in July and August when they're at 115 degrees and say, oh, look how beautiful it is here in Kansas. So absolutely love it. It's wonderful.
That's good. You know, it's been a crazy year. Definitely a lot of people with challenges this year. But we've had some good things happening at Olathe Health despite COVID. Just recently opened our new expanded surgery suites, and that's amazing. I was amazed by the size of the rooms in addition to the technology. What do you think that's going to do for our patients?
It's going to be outstanding from both the OR's perspective with our surgery teams being very excited, from the surgeons, advanced practitioners, nursing, our surgical techs, and our teams that support that function. All of them are very excited with that expansion. And then our ability to continually advance with our hybrid OR that comes with this expansion, and our ability to take the robotic program with our second robot that we acquired last year and have that in these new expanded ORs is very exciting for everybody. And then you talk to our pharmacists and our teams in pharmacy create really an incredible role for the safety and care of our patients in our pharmacy. And their new area really is a blessing for what they can do for us in the future as well.
Allows the ability to perform higher, more complex procedures in these new surgery suites, so that's going to be fantastic. Another example of something actually good that has come from this pandemic is that we accelerated our telemedicine process, and I know our patients have really appreciated the fact that they can do a video visit with their provider, so that's an example. Do you have any others of some of the good things that have happened this year?
Absolutely, and I would say to stay on telemedicine for a minute. I know strategically we had that in our plan to expand telehealth and medicine. And with COVID, obviously the intensity for which our team was able to roll that out is unprecedented. When the federal government gave us some flexibility and lifted some barriers on what telehealth expansion would look like, we were able to turn out something that was probably an 8 to 12 month process in really 2 weeks. And that was incredible. And I know that you'll probably smile when I also mention Spot Saver. In a very unique way, strategically, we already were looking at Spot Saver, which is really using your iPhones and your devices to be able to have remote waiting times so that you don't have to sit in a waiting room. And you and your team were able to roll that out in a great way during the pandemic to really also have the benefit of those that had fears of waiting in waiting rooms to be able to move forward. And that ties into safety. I think the lessons learned really tie to safety and what that looks like. It's very special, the elevation we got out of this pandemic and what we did through our incident command, focusing on safety, but also the processes we've improved that we can utilize in future pandemics or needs for incident command. But then the special one is the collaboration between our providers and our staff and leadership. That is something that when you go through an event like this that's still ongoing, that bond will be there forever.
Another amazing thing this year has been the outpouring of support from the community. They have really warmed our hearts in how they have supported our caregivers in so many ways. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Agreed. And when you reflect back at the early months in the pandemic, the visuals I have and the emotions I know our teams will have will really live on for years to come when they reflect back on those moments where individuals, businesses, churches, youth groups really rallied behind our caregivers, and those emotions will be with our teams for years to come.
Absolutely. And speaking of support, the Yuletide Gala is different this year. It's virtual, but we still have amazingly generous people that are supporting us and watching tonight. Anything you'd like to say to them?
I would start that with the virtual gala, it is amazing the innovation that all businesses have done this year relative to how they're operating, also how they're doing their fundraisers. And obviously as a not-for-profit independent health system, those that support us is very, very important for our success. So to all of you, thank you for what you do for us. I would also share that related to giving, that I had some individuals I was speaking with early that have already given for the gala, and they indicated that they've had blessings in their lives this year, and they want to make sure they gave in a proportionate way. And it's a big deal for us. I would also share, though, that we appreciate and understand anybody's circumstances that they're in this year, both favorable or not, that they know that we appreciate everything that they could do for us that's at their pace. So thank you.
Absolutely. I also want to thank the people that made this possible. First of all, the Charitable Foundation staff, Liz Ann McElhaney, Natalie Ward, Erica Wilson, and of course, Lindsay Elliott, our video expert, both in front of and behind the camera. So thank you to all of them. So now we're going to wrap it up with a rapid fire segment.
Now, quick relative to a CEO's answer, or you really need them quick, right?
But I think you should just follow my rules in this case.
Okay.
It's rapid fire.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of years, and I know that you grew up in Oklahoma, a Dallas Cowboys fan. So our viewers want to know, Cowboys or Chiefs?
Absolutely Chiefs. My two daughters are all in with Chiefs as well. I still have a special place for the Cowboys. When you grow up in Oklahoma, you don't have a pro team. But then I would challenge by saying AFC or NFC. But at the end of the day, Chiefs all the way.
That's what we needed to hear.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I also know that you love to fish. You've even done competitive fishing, hunting, and golf. I know those are three of your favorite pastimes.
Correct.
So if you could only do one of those the rest of your life, which one would it be and why?
I'd have to choose fishing. Just being out with nature and what that does, just very relaxing. But I'd have to do the spin that says I'd like to do it by season. So obviously fishing for spring and summer, hunting for fall and winter, and golf anytime I could get out.
I'm not sure you followed the rules of the rapid fire there, but that's okay. Now our last one, Olathe Health over the next few years. Will A, hunker down in the status quo, or B, expand services to meet the needs of the growing communities we serve?
That's an easy one. We'll absolutely expand to meet the needs of the growing community. And to our boards recently approved their 4-year strategic plan for the organization, and we have a very exciting future ahead of us.
I think I kind of knew the answer to that one. Thanks very much, Stan, for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for that rapid fire section, Mike. Now I think we all know a little bit more about Stan. And if you want to maybe ask your own questions or get to know Stan a little bit better, we have a great opportunity for you to do that. It's actually one of our silent auction items. So Lizanne, why don't you tell us about it?
Oh, Lindsay, thank you. I'm happy to tell everybody about it. So you and 2 of your friends and Stan get to go golfing at Shadow Glen Golf Club. And let me tell you, Stan is a great golfer, but he's even a better storyteller. He has got some great stories. And then you can actually finish off the day by having a meal at the clubhouse at Shadow Glen, maybe having lunch or dinner.
That's true. He's told me a story about catching an alligator before, so be sure to ask about that one. Yes. And that's just one of the many auction items. Why don't you tell us about another one?
I'm happy to. So another auction item that we have is a roping package. And this is like a team roping cowboy package. So if you want to be a cowboy for a day, this is the one to bid on. And what this includes is going out to Brian Beaver's ranch out in Bucyrus, Kansas, and he has a beautiful, beautiful property, a beautiful indoor riding arena, and there's a party room up on the 2nd level, and Nick and Jake's is actually going to come in and cater either lunch or dinner, whatever the time of day happens to be, but you actually get to learn how to rope on the ground, on a little cow dummy. It's kind of fun.
And if you do end up with that auction item, I have a feeling that you should probably call Lizanne before you go out roping, because I think you probably are pretty good at it.
Well, I'm not too good of a roper, but I sure like to play the game if I can.
So silent auction is open until 9 p.m. tonight. We have a few different ways that you can give and participate in that. Lizanne, why don't you tell them how to do that?
Yes, happy to. So everyone get out your cell phones, because it's a cell phone world now, and we're 2020. Everything is virtual. So take out your cell phone and you're going to text Yuletide Gala to 243-725. That's the number you text to. Text Yuletide Gala to that number. But you can also go to bidpal.net/Yuletide Gala. And you can make your donations and bid on the packages both those ways.
All right. And now Mike's going to tell us a little bit more about how your donations tonight are helping us at Olathe Health.
Since you're all comfortable at home, I thought I would get more comfortable too. Thank you, Lizanne and Lindsay. All the contributions tonight go towards the From the Heart campaign that we launched at last year's Yuletide Gala. And the support that we've received since then have made a huge difference in the areas of our expanded surgery suites, our cancer center, our hospice house, and the neonatal intensive care unit. We thank you so much for your support. And here's a look at the great things going on in those areas. Excited about this next segment. It's called Dance Your Heart Out. And we have team members from all 4 areas of the From the Heart campaign ready to show off their skills. Take it away twice on Sunday.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll.
Check it out to the hip hop, hip it to the hip hop. You don't stop rocking to the bang bang boogie. Set up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. What you hear is not a test, and I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. See, I am one to touch, and I'd like to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, the brown, purple, and yellow. But first you gotta bang bang boogie to the boogie. Set up, jump the boogie to the bang bang boogie. Let's rock. You don't stop. Rock a rhythm that'll make your body rock. And now so far you've heard my voice, I brought a few friends along. And next door on the mic is my man Q. Come on, man, sing that song.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket. I got that good soul in my feet. I feel the hot blood in my body when it drops. I can't take my eyes up off it. Moving so phenomenally. Room on lock, the way we rock it. So don't stop. And under the lights where everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move where you already know. So just imagine.
forget. Like, oh, whoa, whoa,
You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You are my love, you are my heart, and we will never, ever, ever be apart. And I was like, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 no, like baby, 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 oh, I thought you'd always be mine. I was like, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 oh, I thought you'd always be mine.
That was Dance Your Heart Out. That was fun. Now it's that time in the program when I turn it over to Charitable Foundation Director Liz Ann McElhaney. And it's your last opportunity to give. Take it away, Liz Ann and Lindsay.
And now, here's a look at all of the auction items.
Tonight, we have 5 exclusive auction items available. Cowboy for a day. Have you ever dreamed of being a cowboy? Then this package is for you. Cowboy up with 3 friends for this rare experience and learn to rope from team roping champion Brian Beaver. Plus, get a meal from Nick and Jake's and your very own American cowboy hat. A cheap swag package any fan is sure to enjoy. Includes a signed Travis Kelce jersey, Super Bowl 54 champion swag, and Jack Stack barbecue to chow down on while watching your favorite team. On the course with CEO Stan Holm. You and 2 friends will join Olathe Health CEO Stan Holm at Shadow Glen for a day of golf and fun. Stan is a great golfer and an even better storyteller. You'll round out the day in the Shadow Glen Clubhouse for a tasty meal and beautiful view. In-home dining experience for 10. Savor a 5-course meal for 10, including appetizers, wine, and desserts in your own home prepared by a Sodexo executive chef. The chef will prepare a personal menu showcasing their culinary talents in an interactive demonstration format so everyone is involved. Nashville Unplugged. Enjoy a 3-night stay for 2 with a guided Nashville tour including many of the city's highlights like the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum and Ryman Auditorium. As an added bonus, get a private lesson with Rascal Flatts drummer Jim Riley in his studio.
Now that's some great auction items we have. And speaking of that Nashville package, I don't know if you know this about me, Liz Ann, but I have always wanted to learn how to be a drummer.
Oh, well, wonderful. And I got to tell you, Jim Riley would be the one to learn from. He happens to also be a professor at Vanderbilt now, and he is teaching drumming lessons. But, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. He used to be a Kansas City boy and actually spent some time here in Kansas City. And I have to say, Lindsay, probably better to be a drummer rather than maybe date a drummer.
Oh,
no, they're great people, and Jim is certainly a wonderful guy. But yeah, we do have some excellent auction packages this year.
We do, and you know, we've been having fun here tonight with this show, and we hope that you've been having fun at home as you're watching this show as well. And you know, it is about fun, but it's also about giving back and the great cause that we're giving to tonight, the From the Heart campaign. So I'm going to turn it over to Liz Ann. You want to tell us again a little bit more about why we're giving tonight?
Happy to. So Olathe Health, we've got several funding priorities for this evening for the From the Heart campaign and for the Yuletide Gala. And what you can do is you can actually text Yuletide Gala, text 243-725. So text Yuletide Gala to that number to 243-725, and you can make your donations and get all set up and ready to go. But some of the things that we're raising money for this evening is our NICU. We have a level 2 NICU right on our campus. The great thing about having a level 2 NICU, and you know, we've recently had some NICU babies in our family, and I tell you what, it's just so nice to be able to go in and know that you have got a hospital that is ready to take care of those wonderful babies if they need that assistance. And also, another thing we're raising funds for this evening is our hospice house. If you have experienced hospice, then you understand why it is so needed. So Olathe Health actually happens to have the only standalone hospice house on the Kansas side of the metro, and we're so proud of it. And we have our caregivers who say they really want the families to be families at the end of life and no longer caregivers. And like I had mentioned earlier, we recently had a cousin that went through and experienced our hospice house, and I tell you what, it was wonderful. And the last but not least is cancer, our cancer center. So we have a beautiful all-inclusive cancer center on our campus at Olathe Health. The great thing about it is everything is there. Our patients, it's one stop. They get to see their nurse navigator, they get to see their surgeons, they get to see their oncology doctors, and it's just so nice to have that care so close to home.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see we've put up on the screen behind us, we've been keeping a tally, so the numbers are going up as you are contributing tonight, and so we want to give a few thank yous because we've already seen you contributing during the show. Jerry Owens, I saw you.
Yes.
James Maiden, thank you so much. Thank you for your donation.
Very much so. And then we also had Shelley Sullivan. She and Barry came in with a donation as well, and Amy Sue Bliss and Leo Nenick. Thank you so much for your donation. And then we also had a special donation from Heather Schoonover. So Mr. Devasell, Frank Devasell, that happens to be one of his daughters. And so thank you so much. Dennis Lawler just came in with a donation as well, and thank you so much. And I happen to know that Dennis Lawler, he told me that he was going to be making a donation, and he wants to challenge the other physicians at Olathe Health to do a donation as well. So please do. So our other physicians that are watching this evening, you can meet that challenge as well.
And speaking of Dr. Lawler, he's one of the physicians. He's our critical care physician as well as a pulmonologist. He's been very involved in caring for our COVID patients and helping set some of the processes in place, making sure that we've got all the safety standards in place at our hospital. And while we have been very focused on COVID this year, we know that other illnesses don't stop. People still have heart disease. People still, unfortunately, are getting cancer or need hospice care or NICU care. And so that's why we're here. That care has been provided still throughout the year. That hasn't stopped. I got the honor of talking to a patient earlier this year who was diagnosed with head and neck cancer, and that was early on in 2020, and then he started receiving his care throughout the year. And the pandemic didn't stop it, and he said, you know what? Those nurses and doctors were so great that he was never afraid to come in. And now he's in remission.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. And we love to hear those stories at Olathe Health. I tell you what, we do have some wonderful caregivers. And again, if you would like to donate, you can certainly do so. Just text Yuletide Gala to 243-725. Text Yuletide Gala to 243-725 and make your donation. We've had some more wonderful donations come in. Thank you to Charles and Charlie. We call him Charlie. Charlie and Tracy Tetrick. I saw Matt Tritz on there and made a donation as well. And Chris Claymore.
Yeah.
I saw her. She made a donation. So she's also new to Olathe Health and so grateful for all of these wonderful donations that are coming in.
Yes, it's so exciting to see this number go up. And I know we've also had, going into this program, some sponsors who were very pivotal to making this happen. You want to thank them again?
I would be so happy. But before I do that, Larry Brubaker made a donation.
Oh, wow.
And he told me he was going to. So he has put us over $14,000. He told me that he was planning to make a donation. He made a $10,000 donation. I knew that he was planning to do that. And I know he is so happy to challenge our board members, our other board members, into making a donation as well. But again, it doesn't matter how much you give. It can be $5, it can be $500, it can be $10, it can be $100. Anything helps, everything helps. We certainly appreciate it. And thank you to Mr. Rob Wyrick.
Thanks, Rob.
We appreciate that so much. But yes, so how you can help donate tonight, and some other folks that we want to thank is actually some of our sponsors. So we had our presenting sponsor, Harlan and Jason Parker. You saw them earlier in the program tonight, our diamond presenting sponsor, and thank you so much for your donation. And then also Garmin. Garmin was our Ruby sponsor this evening. They're neighbors to us. They're right down the street from us at Olathe Health. So I know Lori and Jim Menard and Kent and Susan Lyman, they're all watching tonight, and they are cheering us on, and so thank you so much for all of you do. And we saw Matt Tritz up there earlier tonight. He had already made a donation, but Lockton came in as a Pearl and our dinner sponsor as well, and we're so grateful for that. And last but not least, for all of our sponsors out there tonight that got your gift cards to the various restaurants, since we could not have this a sit-down dinner like we typically do, we provided gift cards to our sponsors and they could purchase dinner on their own. And McCown Gordon Construction was our wine sponsor. We all know how much we like our wine at this event. And thanks to them, all of our sponsors also are probably enjoying a bottle of wine this evening as they're taking a look at the gala tonight.
I've been looking around here to see if you brought some for us.
Well, not yet, but we got a little celebration cocktail going on here after a bit. So.
And another thing that we are celebrating, this is our 49th annual gala. That means next year Big deal, 50th.
That's right. 50th is going to be our next gala. So save the date for December 4th, 2021. Hopefully it will be at the Overland Park Convention Center again. Who knows, we may end up doing a little bit of a hybrid. You just never can tell in the age of COVID. But please save the date for our 50th anniversary of the gala. We're so excited about that. We've actually already started working on it.
Oh yeah, a year ago actually. We got it going on.
We do have it going on. We've been working on that one for a while.
But we're so excited, virtual, to see that you're still giving tonight. We're still kind of giving a little bit of enthusiasm that we would get in person.
Very much so, very much so. But thank you so much. So Jim and Linda Wetzel, we appreciate your donation as well. And Carol Lehman, thank you. How sweet of Carol. And both are the Wetzels and Carol Lehman, longtime supporters of Olathe Health, and we certainly appreciate that. So Dr. Wetzel, he was with us for a number of years at Olathe Health, and just a good guy, and just so happy to see that he's watching us this evening. We greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate that.
Spending his retirement watching us.
Yes, exactly. Hey, we absolutely love that. But again, if you would like to make a donation, please text Yuletide Gala to 243-725. Text Yuletide Gala to 243-725.
And silent auction items. I mean, we still have those going on. You have until 9 o'clock to snag the one that you want, and we have some great gifts. I kind of have my eye on that Kelsey signed jersey.
Oh, do you? Well, I tell you what, the Chiefs have certainly had a great year, and it was mentioned earlier in the program that Patrick Mahomes has probably had the best year out of everybody for 2020, but I don't know, we're doing pretty good at Olathe Health, and we're certainly happy about that also. But you're right, we do have some fabulous auction packages, and in fact, our CEO, Stan Holm, happened to text me earlier, when the video was playing about the auction items, and he's like, Lizanne, I'm not that great of a golfer. But I happen to know he can hold his own pretty well. I happen to know that. But as Lindsay and I had mentioned, you know what, he's a great storyteller, so you don't want to miss out on those stories.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have a couple of other auction items as well. Another one is Cowboy for a Day. To me, this one is just so interesting and so fun.
This is your jam right here.
This is my jam. This is my jam. Hey, I'm all about this one. So let me kind of explain this one, because I'm not sure if everyone quite gets it. But so Nancy and Brian Beaver have a beautiful, beautiful farm in Bucyrus, Kansas, just south of Overland Park, Johnson County. Absolutely gorgeous. They have a gorgeous indoor riding arena. And up on the second floor of the riding arena, they have a wonderful, wonderful party room. And it is over the top. Let me tell you, it's nicer than my home. I can tell you that. It is absolutely wonderful. So you and three friends get to go out to Flattail Ranch. That's the name of the property. And Nick and Jake's is going to cater lunch or dinner, depending on what time of day that you decide to do it. And then Brian, who's a team roping champion, will give you lessons on how to rope with a cow dummy on the ground. But it should be, what an interesting outing. And such a great experience. So I want to make sure that people really understand how that works. Because I got to tell you, yeah, you're right. That's my jam. That's my jam.
Yes, that's all you all day.
Yeah.
And I love Nick and Jake's. Maybe do some brunch beforehand and then go out.
Oh, I tell you what, they've got that firecracker chicken salad that is just over the top. That's kind of my favorite.
So you've been there once or twice.
Yeah, I've been there just a few times. But we also really want to thank everyone that is with us this evening and supporting from home. And we've had so many donations that have come through, and we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we want to say thanks to Mike too. He puts so much work into this program. He sits at home at night thinking about what his monologue is going to be. He does his background and watches lots of late night shows to figure out what he's going to do. He really pours his heart and soul into this. So be sure to leave in the comments how much you've enjoyed his part, because he's great.
Yes, please do. Mike Jensen, I tell you what, we just think the world of him at Olathe Health. And, he's my boss, so be really nice to him. So and I tell you what, and Lindsay is right. He really, wants to make everything such a good showing for everybody. We really appreciate it. But we have a lot of other people to thank. And Lindsay, I want to thank you.
Oh.
You have just done so much to help us make this huge pivot this year from live to virtual, and putting together so many of our videos and coaching me on camera. I know that has not been easy whatsoever, so I greatly appreciate it. So thank you for all that you have done. And Natalie Ward, I was trying to get her up on camera, and she's like, don't get me up on camera. She just didn't want to do that. She's actually doing some work behind the scenes right now, and want to thank her for all of her wonderful help as well. And then Erica Wilson, who is in the Charitable Foundation staff also. So she has done so much to help us and keep those donations rolling in, and I know she is sitting at home tonight with her kids watching. I think they had a little pretty party going on. I think they might have dressed up in some of their clothes.
Oh, I need to see pictures of this.
I know. But yes, we certainly have a lot of people that we certainly want to thank.
Yes, it takes a team. Absolutely.
It does definitely take a team. So, and as we had mentioned earlier, we want to save the date for our 50th for next year.
Mark your calendar.
Yes, mark your calendar for Saturday, December the 4th in 2021. That will be our 50th anniversary of the Yuletide Gala.
Yeah. So, we're going to wrap it up. As we showed you earlier in the program and we highlighted some of the ways that your donations have helped this year for those different areas, we also showed you that we are 73% to our 7 million goal. That's going into the night, and we've seen how much you've already given us tonight. So I think it's about that time of the night, Lizanne.
I think it is, but Lindsay, honestly, before we do that, I think I need to hire you in the Charitable Foundation. You are so good, so good at saying what our goal is and how much and where we are. So thank you so much for all your help. But I think we are. I think we're ready to announce. Are we ready?
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Join us at home.
Yeah, we need that lesson from Jim Riley from Rascal Flats, and the bidding. And the auction will close at 9. So you've got to 193,000, and that is a net number. That is a net number, and that does not include the auction packages that will be open until 9 p.m. this evening. So thank you, everybody, for all of your support.
Yes.
Lindsay, cheers.
Yes, cheers.
And take it away, Twice on Sunday.